quality brand name products at affordable wholesale prices, Cash and Carry is the perfect place to shop. Whether shopping for individual, business, churches, or more, Cash and Carry is sure to meet your needs. Cash and Carry of Cookeville, 931-528-8050.
Time for TSU. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Watson Brown Show, presented by IWC Cash and Carry. Alongside Tennessee Tech head coach Watson Brown, I'm your host, Buddy Pearson. Well, after starting off the season with a win over Kentucky Christian and a loss to Indiana State, the Golden Eagles had an open date this past weekend. But TTU travels to Nashville, Tennessee this Saturday to take on the Tigers of Tennessee State in the Ohio Valley Conference opener. Coach, before we talk about that, and we'll get into TSU a little later on in the show, how was that open date treating you this weekend?
You know, it was good. We did not work on TSU till very late in the week a little bit, and worked against each other and worked very hard on just fundamentals, because I thought that we just didn't play up to our capabilities in game one, and then in game two also. So I didn't think we played well in either game, and we need to step it up as we start to get into conference play. Do think we got a lot better last week. Had a very physical week, had two really physical practices against one another, and I think it helped us, and I believe we'll play better this week.
Was there anything during the off week that really stood out as far as a positive for your team?
Just effort.
Yeah.
I think our kids are trying really, really hard. I think they want to win. Anytime as a coach you feel like your players are playing hard, that's 50% of the issue. We played hard last Saturday.
Right.
It just didn't play well, and that can happen to you, and that's exactly what happened. So, till we get security of a football, till we quit giving up big plays on defense, it's going to be hard on us. We've got to get both those two things corrected.
Offensively, you talked a little bit about Jared Davis and getting some poise. Did you see some of that in practice last week?
Yeah, I think so. I think Jared's got to understand there are going to be bodies around him, and he's going to get hit some, and he's a young quarterback always struggles with that. When you're getting hit some in a game, you got to be able to fight through that and hang in there. I struggle with that when I played. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do at all. I think there's a toughness to a quarterback that you can't explain. And Jared is a very tough kid. In some ways too tough. He takes some hits he doesn't need. I counted 5 times in the game the other day where he could have thrown the ball away, stepped out of bounds, and took a hit he didn't need to take. Wow. So we've got to get that corrected too. But Jared knows what he's doing. I think it's just his poise of taking the ball to the right place on time and not letting things around him bother him so much.
All right. Well, the Golden Eagles were the only team to have an open date in the Ohio Valley Conference as we take a look at the OVC scoreboard, brought to you by the OVC Digital Network. Actually, there were 3 OVC teams that had open dates, but let's look at the scoreboard anyway. Around the league, it was UT Martin 63 over Cumberland, Tennessee. No big surprise there. Reed Gerchik, 3 of 15, 46 yards, a touchdown, and interception. That's for Cumberland. Gerard Neal was 15 of 18 for 199 yards and 3 touchdowns. Elsewhere, number 24, Eastern Illinois, a loser at Illinois State, 34-15. EIU now 0-3. Trey Robertson, 6 of 12, 159 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Coach, what's your thoughts on that one?
Oh, they're playing good teams. They lost to Minnesota. They lost to Southern Illinois. They've lost to Illinois State. 2 of the 3 on the road. You know, a lot is you, and then it's also who you play. They've started out with a very, very tough schedule, and it shows in their record.
Yeah. Elsewhere around the OVC, number 14, Chattanooga, 42, Austin P. 6. Jacob Hussman, 18 of 23, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns for the Mocs. Darian Boone, 15 of 20, 124 yards and a touchdown for APSU. Elsewhere, number 25, Eastern Kentucky, 55, Morehead State, 13. The team we'll face this week, number 22, Tennessee State, defeats Jackson State, 35-7. Lamonte Ivy, 16 of 36 for 132 yards for Jackson State. Ronald Butler, who came in the game for German, 10 of 18 for 125 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Tom Smith, 14 carries, 66 yards, 2 TDs for the Tigers. And it was number 14, Southern Illinois 50, Southeast Missouri 23. Coach, any thoughts on the TSU score?
Just domination. They had 21 yards of offense at the half. Their defense, we'll talk about them, he said a little later, but their defense is just dominating people right now.
And you look at the current OVC standings, Eastern Kentucky, they've cracked the top 25. They are at 3-0, TSU at 2-1, Jacksonville State 1-1. Like you said, 2 or 3 of those schools who did not play this week. Interesting having a bye this early in the season. Do you like having a bye this early?
I loved it last week. I'll hate it in about 6 weeks. And if you really would, you'd rather have a bye about midways.
Yeah.
And but the schedule didn't work out that way, and we had a bye at a good time for us as far as getting better. But at the same time, those legs later in the year, we'll wish we had it back.
All right, Coach, don't go away. We'll be right back. We got more of the Watson Brown Show coming up.
Order your tickets for Tennessee Tech Golden Eagle football by calling 931-372-3940 or going to ttusports.com.
Tennessee Tech alumni and friends, now is your opportunity to purchase tickets for the 2015 Tennessee Tech Masters Raffle that's benefiting the Tennessee Tech Athletics Association and the men's and women's golf program at Tennessee Tech. Great opportunity for folks.
Whoever wins this drawing is going to have a great experience at Augusta National. You're going to have lodging included. You're going to have some meals included by your own personal chef. And then, of course, you'll get to experience Augusta National, the golf course, and all its beauty. And it's just a great place to see the most prestigious golf tournament in the world.
To get more information, just log on to ttusports.com. Again, it's only $100. The chance is only $100. Great opportunity to support Tennessee Tech men's and women's golf and the Tennessee Tech Alumni Association by your chance to enter for the 2015 Tennessee Tech Masters Raffle.
Tennessee Tech tickets available at 931-372-3940 or ttusports.com.
Welcome back to the Watson Brown Show. You know, the Golden Eagles have some talented young freshmen on the roster this season. One of those players is Mike Kane, who is our Golden Eagle player profile, brought to you this week by Zaxby's.
I am Michael Kane. I play defensive tackle, and I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. How I got started playing football? I really wasn't a football guy. I mean, I knew about it, but I really didn't think about it until I was outside one day, just running around, and a man pulled up. I didn't know who he really was, and he was talking to me about football, and I was like, oh, I never played before. So then that's when he asked my mama, and he took me to a football team and just started playing. I realized going into my freshman year of high school, my coach was like, you have a really good talent, but you're short, so you're gonna have to work your butt off. So you're gonna have to have an advantage over people. So I started working out hard and found out I was faster than most people in my position. What made me decide to come to Tennessee Tech? When I came on my visit, it felt like family here. Everybody was nice, and it just felt like home. It wasn't too far from home, but it felt like home. And the players made me feel like I was family. Biggest at first, my mom and dad, man, they was always there for me. Even when I thought I wasn't very good, they was always, Mike, you can do it. Just go out there and try your best. And come to find out I was pretty good, and they was always by my side. My teammates would describe me as a big, funny guy who likes to play around and to be around his teammates. My first snap as a Golden Eagle is going to be great. My first college game, it's going to be a great experience, and I know there's going to be a lot of people cheering us on. I would describe myself as a quick, big guy who has a lot of strength that likes to stop run plays. The favorite part about playing on defensive line is, I mean, it's easy and you have to be athletic just to do it. And I like going against the offensive line in the trenches. The feeling when I get to the quarterback is a great feeling just because I know I'm going to take him down and it's going to be a great play. Anytime you hit the quarterback, it's a great play for the defensive line.
Well, Coach, he's right. He's definitely a big guy. What about his quickness?
Oh, he's very quick. We've had some great nose guards here. John Jackson, Justin Hillier.
Yeah.
Jordan Johnson was our latest, and Mike is going to be right in that line. And redshirt freshman, recruited hard by TSU, so this is going to be a big game for him. I'm sure they'll look him up, and he's looking forward to going back home. He doesn't live far from TSU. So.
Right.
Great kid, just an unbelievably talented young man. Of course, his pad level, because he's not very tall, but he's so strong, and his pad level's low, and he's just hard to knock off the ball.
Low center of gravity.
Low center of gravity.
Well, you know, TTU student athletes love to have fun in the community, and the Golden Eagles soccer team had lots of fun helping out with the fun run as we check out Tech in the Community, brought to you this week by Pepsi.
This is Mike Lehman with the Golden Eagles Sports Network. I'm here with head soccer coach at Tennessee Tech University, Steve Springthorpe. Coach, go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you're doing out here today with your team.
Yeah, I mean, we're just kind of giving back to the community a little bit. They've got a fun run happening and here in the community, and we wanted to help out. It's something that the team has done for the last couple of years, you know, come out and give back to the community. And I'm going to do a fun run here with some kids, 12 and under. Get out there, run a mile, kind of have a good time with them. So anytime we can give back to the community, we want to be able to do that.
Here with junior midfielder Taylor Sutton. Taylor, go ahead and talk a little bit about, your favorite thing about being out here doing this kind of event.
I think my favorite thing would be running with the kids, because I've always been a big fitness addict, and I think getting them started early is kind of great, and it's fun being able to come out and run with little kids and seeing their joy. Brings joy back into my life in running.
Coach, I always enjoy watching other people run.
There's one thing I know for sure.
Yeah.
Neither one of us were in that run.
No.
Anywhere to be found, won't be anywhere to be found.
No.
I will give money to not run.
Make a donation.
They can make a donation if they want to get my money. The way to do it, say you got to run or give money. I will give them the money.
That's exactly right. But it's neat to see the student athletes out in the community participating like that.
And all of our sports do a great job of it. Being in a small town like this, it's very important that the community feels these athletes. They get to know the athletes, makes them want to come to the games even more when they do that. And our athletes love doing it. They all, every sport, seems to go out with a positive attitude when they go and to do different things and do a good job of it.
Yeah. Speaking of athletes, it's time now to catch up with a former TTU athlete. This alumni played in the late 80s and is now making a name in the Putnam County school system. Sam Brooks is in our Where Have They Landed feature, brought to you this week by Wendy's Breakfast of Cookeville.
Sam Brooks played wide receiver, kickoff, and punt returner from 1987 through 1991. I grew up, was born actually in Livingston, Tennessee. We moved to Cookeville, Tennessee when I was about 5 years old and had lived in Cookeville ever since. Came to Tennessee Tech in graduation year in high school was 1986, so that was my signing year at Tennessee Tech. My coach was Jim Ragland. I was recruited by Gary Darnell, which was pretty interesting because he ran the wishbone backfield and he recruited me to be the tailback in the wishbone backfield. I'm kind of glad Jim Ragland took over because I don't know how that would have went, but Jim Ragland recruited me as a wide receiver and kickoff and punt returner, and I played for him for all of those years and really learned a lot from Jim. He's been a huge influence in my life as I've gone through my coaching career, and just really lucky to have played for him. Just being able to prove them wrong was my motivation every time I stepped on the field. And them sometimes could be even other coaches on the field that I played for. So having the opportunity to be able to do that and show my skills, and then graduating at Tennessee Tech was very important. And then when I stopped playing football, when my playing days were over, I ended up being the 4th-time all-time receiver at Tennessee Tech. And that was something that when we were able to start talking about that, I didn't get to that until my senior year when I got in the top 10. And then, when you make a catch at Tucker Stadium and you hear Sam Brooks has now moved into the number 9 spot all-time receivers at Tennessee Tech, that was great motivation. That's something that drove me to be able to do the best I could do. Lessons that I learned, on the football field from Jim Ragland, from all of my coaches that I've experienced over the years, just hard work, having great work ethic in anything you do, loving what you do. I played with so many kids who come into Tennessee Tech that they thought they wanted to play football, they thought they wanted a college education, but they weren't willing to work for all the things that you have to do to be an athlete in college. And so I just think on the football field, that's what you learn. You learn work ethic, you learn what hard work does for you, and you learn the value of that. And Jim Ragland preached that every day. And just so happy to have played for him and the staff that he had at that time, because I look back now and I wonder, had I not had football, what would I be doing today? And that's a very scary thought for me, because I don't know. I mean, I don't know where I would be right now. But thankful that I did, and thankful I was able to have those influences in my life. But I think just having that work ethic to get up every day and do the best job you can is what is important to me. In a nutshell today, I am the virtual learning coordinator for Putnam County School System. Coached for 12 years, as we talked about, and moved into this role and really are leading students into online learning, distance learning through Nashville State, Vol State, and Tennessee Tech in dual enrollment, which gives them the opportunity to earn college credit while they're in high school. I'm Sam Brooks, and that's where I landed.
Coach played a lot of golf with Sam and covered a lot of his teams when he coached at Cookeville High and at Upperman High School. Just great to see him in the spotlight this week.
It is, and I've heard through so many people that Sam was one of those hard workers. Tough guy that took the ability he had and took it to another level, and worked really hard through all of his years, got better every year that he was here, and of course he's coached by a man that I just thought the world of. Yeah. He was one of my very close friends, and Jim Ragland, and he was coached by my granddad in high school, so he was like he was in our family. And the one thing I have regretted in getting to come back to Cookeville and be here is that Jim had already passed away before I came back to Tennessee Tech, because that would have meant a lot to him. But with Sam saying those things about Jim, I would say they're absolutely true.
Yep. Well, stay with us. There's more to come on the Watch Brown Show. Don't go away.
Tennessee Tech tickets available at 931-372-3940 or ttusports.com.
Touchdown, Golden Eagles.
Order your tickets for Tennessee Tech Golden Eagle football by calling 931-372-3940 or going to ttusports.com.
Welcome back to the Watson Brown Show, presented by IWC Cash and Carry. Well, if you have a question for Coach Brown, you can tweet it at TTU Golden Eagles. And Coach, we have some questions for you this week as we move into this segment, which is sponsored by the Golden Eagle Sports Network. Your Twitter questions.
Go for
it. This one comes from Maddie Trump. And Coach, the question is, this may be the hardest part of your schedule. What are the keys to getting through it and grabbing some wins?
There's no maybe to it. It is the hardest. We play the 15th ranked team this week in some polls and the 8th ranked team in the country next week, both of them on the road. So this is by far the toughest part of the schedule. We got to play well. You cannot play these two opponents and have a average showing and have a chance to win. So we're going to have to play much better than we did in Terre Haute. There's no doubt about that. I think we can. I think we're capable of that. And we got another week to practice and get ready for TSU, and then we'll try to perform a little better, and we'll see what we're like.
All right. Another Twitter question. This is from Rep Torrey. How do you think the team responded during the bye week?
I thought really well. We talked a little bit earlier about it, but I thought they practiced really hard. I thought their attitudes were really good about practice. It was a very hot day, very hot 2 days of pads, and they hung through that, and we didn't have a lot of injury from it, so we made it through that and worked a little bit on TSU late in the week, but thought we had a very good week of practice.
And our last question, this is from JRack5. How does Watson Brown spend his bye weekend?
Working. To say the least, I wasn't with you playing any golf.
No, you weren't.
There's no doubt about that. Yeah, we worked very hard. Coaches went out and recruited on Friday. I stayed in the office and spent a full day just watching all the different TSU tapes that we've got, and offense, defense, special teams. I tried to watch all of it to get a good feel for that. And we came back hard on Sunday, had a practice. We got an extra practice this week on Sunday for the game. Watched ball games on Saturday most of the day, and because I enjoy to study other people. It's not just to watch the game. I can see what Ohio State's doing offensively or defensively, and so I get a lot out of a day like that. We don't get many days to watch other people play. Never get to watch the NFL. That's just we don't get to do that. So really, it was a hard work week for us.
Well, it's time now to talk about this week's opponent, and this segment is brought to you by Miller Lite. As we said at the top of the show, the Golden Eagles travel to Nashville to take on the Big Blue Tennessee State Tigers at Hale Stadium, also known as The Hole.
It will be warm. It's an afternoon game. We played them there in an afternoon game 2 years ago, and we won't talk about that one.
Yeah,
that was a great game. The last 5 years, we won 2, they've won 3. 4 of those games have gone to nearly the last drive of the game, have been last drive of the game, matter of fact. And we went 2-2. Last year is the first time that they jumped on us pretty good and beat us 41-21. We gave up a lot of big plays against us in the game. Mike German played really well against us, and we turned the ball over, made some mistakes. Very similar last year's game to the Indiana State game this year. So we've got to go to Nashville and play better.
They're always physical. They have a lot of speed. Do you worry about the matchups as far as secondary receivers, that kind of thing?
Oh, absolutely. The strength of their football team as defense has been for years. I know the last 5 years I played them, I felt like the defense was the real strength. They can rush the passer well. You have to be very careful in getting in long yardage situations, which we got in a bunch of them last year because we jump off sides. Just different reasons, and we got in way too many long yardage situations. We had some nice plays in the game, but very hard to be consistent against them because they'll pressure you and do different things, but they're capable of just lining up and playing a gap, and sometimes that's the hardest defense to go against, that don't take chances a whole lot, and then you don't get a chance for a big play when they can do that.
Right.
Very good up front, very, very strong up front, and then a very solid secondary. The offense is good. Special teams is solid, but the strength of this football team is their defense, and has been the last 5 years.
It's the Ohio Valley Conference opener. It's the first game for the York Trophy, which also includes Austin Peay and UT Martin. The game can be heard on KISS FM. Coach, we wish you the best of luck this weekend and looking forward a win over the Big Blue.
We're going to go give it everything we got, and let's see what happens.
All right. For Tennessee Tech head coach Watson Brown, I'm Buddy Pearson. We'll see you next week on the Watson Brown Show.
The Watson Brown Show has been brought to you by IWC Cash and Carry, Wendy's Breakfast of Cookeville, Zaxby's, Pepsi, and Miller Lite.
With quality brand name products at affordable wholesale prices, Cash and Carry is the perfect place to shop. Whether shopping for individual, business, churches, or more, Cash and Carry is sure to meet your needs. Cash and Carry of Cookeville, 931-528-8050.